Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So if you're new to my channel, you are highly welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by, and if you're my returning subscriber, you are also welcome. So today I came with another excitement or excited tutorial. This beautiful dress you're seeing on your screen. Okay, so we are going to be drafting the pattern on this video today. So if this is something that you're interested in, you want to make this dress, so stay with me. Let's begin. So I have my pattern paper here. This is carbon paper actually. So, and I have all my tools that I'm going to use. So I'm going to start by creating my starting point as usual. So this is going to be my shoulder line. Okay, so I'm going to be marking 2 inches because I'm going to use this same pattern to trace out my back pattern. So I would like to have some allowance to create for my zip. Okay, so that is why I'm marking these 2 inches. Also, it's going to help me as a guideline. So I'm going to draw this straight line so we can begin. So now that I'm done from here, the next I will be taking my bust point measurement. Okay, from my shoulder to my bust line is 9.5 inches. So I'm going to repeat this line twice so that I can have a straight line. So now I'm going to draw this line. So the next measurement I will be taking is my under bust. So if you know your bust line and you don't know how to get your under bust line, just mark 3 inches from your bust line, and then that will be your under bust measurement. Or if you're not sure, you take your measurement from your shoulder to where your bra your where your bra stop. Okay, yes, from where your bra stop, that is where you are going to take your under bust measurement. So now I'm done from here. The next I'm going to be taking my waist measurement. So from my shoulder to my waistline, I'm going to be marked 16 inches. Okay, 16 inches is my waistline. So I will repeat this measurement twice so I will have a straight line. So the next I'm going to connect it like so. So next is going to be my half length, the length of my half bodice. Okay, you know the lower part is a gather skirt, so I'll be taking my half length to which I mark 22 inches here. Okay, so you're going to take your measurement to where you want your half length to stop, and then you are going to uh mark it there. So once I'm done from here, I'm going to label it: my shoulder, my bust line, my under bust, my waist, and my half length. Okay, so now that I'm done from now here, the next I'm going to do from my bust line, I will be marking 1.5 inches up for my chest line. Okay, to get my chest line, I'm going to mark 1.5 inches above, and then I'm going to connect this line now. So this is my chest line. So now we are going to be taking the horizontal measurement, which is our round circumference or our body round circumference. So I'll be marking my shoulder measurement here. Half of my shoulder measurement is 7 inches. My shoulder is 14 divided by 2 is 7. So I'm going to repeat the same measurement here. I'm going to mark that 7 inches here so that I can have a straight line to create my armhole line. Okay, so to get your armhole line straight, you need to follow this step. So this is my armhole line. So the next thing I'm going to do, from my shoulder line, I'm going to mark 2.5 inches for my neck width. Okay, I'm on the small side, so yeah, there are some dress I will use 2.5, and there are some dress I will be use 3 inches. Okay, so I'm going to mark 3 inches below for my neck depth on this particular style. Okay, so I'm going to create a square box, a little square box at this point here. So that is why you see me repeating the same measurement twice here. Okay, so I mark my I mark 3 inches below, just like you see me doing. Okay, and also I'm going to repeat the 2.5 inches again at below here, just like that. Okay, so I'm going to use my straight ruler to connect all the markings to form the square box at the neck side. Okay, so now that I'm done from here, so the next I'm going to be working on my shoulder slope. So I'm going to mark 1 inch from this line here, from my armhole line there, then I'm going to connect it. So this is my shoulder slope. So now that we are done now, I'm going to move back to here. I'm going to mark half of my bust span measurement, which is 3.5 inches. My bust span measurement is 7 inches, and divided by 2 is 3.5. So I mark it all the way to the down except the chest line. Okay, so I'm going to connect this line here to create my dart line. So the next thing I'm going to do from this point here, from my under bust line, I'm going to be marking 0.5 inch on both sides. That is my dart. Okay, the first dart. Okay, I'm taking 0.5 inch on both sides on my waist. So move on to the top length. So I'm going to be taking an inch, just an inch. Okay, it's not up to 1.25, it's not up to just an inch. Okay, I just took an inch on both sides, just an inch. Okay, on both sides, and then I'm going to connect all these markings. So now that I'm done from there, so to create that curve, okay, to create that curve, or to create the upper part, or the yoke rather, to create the yoke. So I'm going to place my tape from my underbust. I'm going to mark 2.5 inches above. Okay, so I mark 2.5 inches above here. So I'm going to stop at this point for now. So I'm going to move back to my chest line. So I'm going to mark 0.5 inch below to create a new chest line. As you can see, this dress doesn't have a sleeves. Okay, it doesn't have a sleeves. So yeah, just mark 0.5 inch below to create a new chest line. So that is what I'm doing here. So once I take this measurement, I'm going to connect it a straight line to create a new chest line. Okay, so I will extend the armhole line down just like that. So I'm going to label it end C, that is new chest line. Okay, so for my new chest line, from the I'm going to, from this armhole line, okay, I'm going to mark 0.75 in. Okay, I mark 0.75 from that line there in. Okay, so now I will now create that yoke. Okay, so I use my curve rule, and then I'm going to connect it to meet to the point where I mark that 0.75 there. Okay, and then I'm going to return it back again to the center front here, the same thing, and then I'm going to place my curve like that and connect it to meet to the point where I mark that 2.5 inches top. Okay, I hope you understand all this explanation. So the next, I'm going to place my straight roller like this, and then I'm going to connect it to meet to the neck depth. Okay, just like that. So move on to the neck here. I don't want to just keep it that straight, so I just mark a 0.25 below, and then I'm going to connect it with a curvy line. Okay, just like this way. Please pay close attention to see what I'm doing. So now that I'm done from this part here, now we are going to move to the major part. Okay, where we are going to be drafting or using the method of a Victoria corset. Okay, this is the Victoria corset pattern. Okay, so from my chest line, I'm going to mark my bust circumference divided by 4, which is 8.5 inches. Okay, so I'm going to add additional 1.5 inches for another dart. Okay, because we have two dart here. So for my underbust is 29 divided by 4 is 7.25. Then I replace the dart that I took from there, which is 1 inch, right? Then I'm going to add another additional 1.5 inches for another dart. I hope you understand this, okay? After replacing the dart, after marking my underbust, I replaced the dart with the dart I took with 1 inch. So I add another 1.5 inches again, okay? Because I'm going to add another dart to it. So back to my waistline. My waist is 28 divided by 4 is 7. Then the 1 inch that I took from the dart, which is 8, okay, I mark it there. And then additional 1.5 inches for the new dart that we're going to be adding. Okay, basically that is it. So my round hip circumference is approximately to 10 inches. So I'm going to just mark the 10 inches there, and that is it. You don't need to add sewing allowance for the hip for now, okay, so that you know crowd your pattern with a lot of allowances, okay. So I'm going to connect all these markings. So once I'm done now, I'm going to uh, create another dart. So by doing that, I'm going to find the midpoint, place my tape at my waistline to find the midpoint, okay. I'm going to fold it back like so, and then I'm going to mark it where the midpoint is, just this way. And then I'm going to connect a straight line, okay. I'm going to connect a straight line from where the midpoint is. Just place your tape straight and connect the straight line down. So the 1.5 inches that I added as the extra dart, okay, so I'm going to be taking 1 inch, so I'll be marking 0.5 inch on both line, okay. So I'm going to mark 0.5 inch here and 0.5 inch there. So the same thing, I'm going to do the same thing to the underbust line too, okay. 0.5 inch on both sides. I will move on to my new chest line. I'm going to mark 0.25 on both sides, because you want, since there is no sleeve, you want that part to be tightened, okay. Also the same thing to my hip line, okay, or the bottom line. I'm going to also take an inch, okay. Just what I did to the first dart is what I'm doing also to the second dart. I took an inch from the lower part and then 0.5 inch on both sides, okay. So I'm connecting all this line together now. So I have succeeded to create additional dart on my bodice, okay. So the 1.5 inch that I took, so I make use of 1 inch on the middle line, right? So from the waistline, I'm going to be minusing, I'm going to mark that the remaining 0.5 inch, okay? I mark it at the waistline, okay? So I'm going to place my tape or my straight ruler like so and connect it just the way you see me doing, okay? So the 1.5 inch darts that I added, or the allowance that I added for the dart, I have succeeded making use of all of it. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to be adding my sewing allowance. So at the end of the day, I reduced this sewing allowance back to 0.5 inch allowance because this was an inbuilt sewing, okay. So I reduced the 1 inch allowance that I had by back to 0.5 inch. So now that I'm done, I'm going to place my tape from the side here and I mark 3 inches above, okay. I mark 3 inches above from there, and then I'm going to get my cuff roll just the way you see me doing to create this inset, the inset you saw on the dress, okay. You can decide to leave it straight, but if you want to follow the original style, you have to do this thing that I did, okay. Now that we are done from here, I'm going to get a fresh paper to place on top underneath so that I can trace out the back, okay. Like I said, I'm going to, the allowance that I kept earlier, I was talking about the back, so now I'm going to make use of it now. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to first of all trace out from the new chest line all the lines. I'm going to trace it out except the yoke, okay, except the front yoke. This region here, I'm not going to trace it to the back. I'm only going to trace out only the darts and the shape of the dress from the chest line. So this is where I'm going to start by tracing, okay. So I'm not tracing out the yoke. Okay, I'm tracing out the chest line, tracing out the waistline, tracing out the under bust, and also the shape from the lower part. I hope my explanation is clear to you. I hope you're understanding what I'm doing. Okay, so once I'm done tracing it all out, then I will take it off so that I can yeah, I've already gone ahead to make the line visible. So this is my back pattern at the moment. It doesn't have a back. Okay, so it doesn't have back, so forget this line that I just marked here. So I'll just extend this dart from upper part, from the under bust up to the chest line, like that. Okay, so ignore this dot that I'm making here. So now back to the waistline. So the 0.5 inch that remaining from the dart that I add from the front. Okay, so I'm going to replace it back. Okay, I need to replace that back, the the allowances, or I need to replace it back to the center back. So the 0.5 inch that remain, I'm going to mark it here on my waistline. Also the same thing, I'm going to mark the 0.5 inch also at my under bust line also. Okay, then to the chest line I make use of 0.25. So I'm going to connect all this line, all these markings. So this is a Victoria corset pattern. Okay, this is the Victoria corset pattern. If you want to snatch, your target is to snatch the waist and the under bust entirely. Okay, so that is what I'm actually doing here. Okay, so now that I'm done with all the dart intake, so the next now I'm going to drop the back with 1.5 inches. Okay, I'm not just going to leave it straight ahead like this. I'm going to drop it with 1.5 inches, and then I'm going to place my tape here. Okay, from the original line, not from not from the allowances. Okay, I'm going to connect it like this with a straight line. Okay, so I'm going to extend this line out. So after extending this line, I'm going to be taking my zip allowance. Okay, so this zip allowance, I'm taking it from where I mark the 0.5 inch. Okay, please just pay attention to see the part where my tape is. Okay, so from the inner line, not the first line. Okay, so I'm marking 1.5 inch to keep for my zip allowance. Okay, I'm going to repeat the same 1.5 inch also below there, and after then I'm going to connect all the three mark. Okay, so this is my zip allowance, or rather this is my back pattern. So the next now I'm going to start by cutting them out. So I will cut all the part that I don't want out. So yeah, so if you're new to my channel, if you're seeing my channel for the first time, and if you're yet to subscribe to my channel, this moment I will advise you to do so, so you will not miss out on any interested tutorial like this. And also the sewing tutorial will be out also, so you will not miss out. Okay, so subscribe and don't forget to turn on your notification bell, so you'll be the first to notify when the sewing tutorial will be out. Okay, and also please help me share the video. Yeah, basically that is it. All right, so once I'm done cutting it out, I'm going to label it. So yeah, these are my front and my back pattern ready, and I'm also gonna head to label all the part, and yeah, that will be it for now. Thank you so much for watching. See you on my next tutorial.